Jeremy Knox was halfway through tying his laces when a breathless Bobby came skidding into the locker room. The freshman always looked ridiculously tiny next to the Trojans once they were kitted out for a game, but her size worked in her favor tonight as she had to weave around a half-dozen bodies to find USC's captain. Jeremy saw the look on her face as she hurried toward him and could guess what news she was bringing him. It made him grin as he bent to his work.
"It's time,"
she said as soon as she reached him. She dropped to a quick squat and gave his shin guards a hard push. Satisfied they didn't move, she settled back on one foot to look up at him. The glee in her eyes might have been at the trick the USC Trojans had planned for tonight, but was just as likely excitement over being the first of the Trojans' 3 assistants to reach him. Jeremy put his money on the latter since Antonio was closing in fast as well.
"Security says they're heading back to inner court soon."
Tony stopped beside her and favored the top of her head with an exasperated look. "How did you even beat me in here? I was literally with Coach Riemann when the call came in." Bobby held up a hand and Tony easily hauled her to her feet as she explained.
"I heard the guard's radio go off. He had to let me back in because my hands were full with,
she said, looking stricken.
"Oh no, the ice."
She took off back the way she'd come, leaving Tony to sigh dramatically. A moment later, he recovered enough to send Jeremy a sidelong look. "You sure about this? For sure? Because if no one else knows yet, no one can hold you to it. You have time to change your mind." "We need this more than they do," Jeremy said. "We're sure." Tony accepted that without further argument and looked around. "Nabil?" "He'll be out soon," Jeremy said, and Tony accepted that with an easy nod. Nabil would be the last down to court since he couldn't gear up until after prayers. Tony had gotten into the habit of waiting for him a few months back, offering a second set of hands to make up for lost time. "Can you see if someone will get my gloves and helmet down to the bench? I'm going to go say hello to our visitors." "Of course," Tony promised. "I'll flag Angie down as soon as I see her." Jeremy detoured past the dealer's row on his way out. Sebastian Moore and Min Kai were talking excitedly as they finished up with their gear. But since Xavier was on the outskirts of the conversation, it was easy to get his attention with a light touch on his elbow. Jeremy tipped his head in the direction of the court and said, "I'm heading out. I'll meet you in inner court." The Trojans' vice-captain gave a serious nod, completely at odds with his easy, "Tell your fanboy we said hello." "Our fanboy," Jeremy reminded him with a laugh as he got moving again. He found the Knights roster where he left it, taped to the wall near the locker room exit, and he peeled it down on his way into the inner court. The deafening chaos of packed stands was a familiar and exciting weight, urging him onward and forcing his gaze to the court. They were 30 minutes out from serve, but Jeremy already knew tonight was going to be a great night. Championships brought out the best and fiercest in all of their opponents, and the chance to play an unfamiliar team was a rare challenge the team craved. Tonight's experiment was the icing on the cake, an invaluable experience no matter how it ended.